There are plenty of changes from Fabio Capello's 42nd and final lineup, which beat Sweden here in November. Only 4 start tonight under Stuart Pearce's management and Scott Parker's captaincy. That's Joe Hart in goal, Gary Cahill and Leighton Baines in the back four, and Gareth Barry in midfield. Micah Richards, one of 4 Manchester City players, starts for England for the first time since 2007. Stephen Gerrard back after an injury absence of 15 months. And Danny Welbeck, one of 3 Manchester United players, is in the 11 for the first time after 3 previous caps as a substitute.
England play with a flat back four, but expect Richards and Baines to venture forward at every opportunity. They can afford to do so because Parker and Barry are playing as 2 holding midfield players. Johnson will give width on the right, while Gerrard and Young will constantly rotate their positions. Attacking spearhead Welbeck will be looking to use his pace to get behind Holland's back line.
Well, the Dutch trained here last night, and both Mark van Bommel and Robin van Persie didn't finish the session to protect minor injuries. But they do both start. It's a very experienced side. 9 of the 11 began the World Cup final. The only exceptions, the 2 fullbacks, Carly Boularus, who had a spell in England with Chelsea, and the PSV left-back, Eric Peters.
The referee this evening for this international match from Germany.
Holland will play a similar system to England. Van Persie will lead the line with Schneider playing in the hole behind him, while Robin and Kout will support from wider areas. Watch out for Kout coming in at the far post to win headers against Baines. In midfield, De Jong and Van Bommel will sit in front of their centre-halves. De Jong has greater energy, but Van Bommel is the better passer.
Plenty of substitutes available. 6 for each country can be used. The referee is the German Felix Brich. Holds all his qualifications for this job and more. He has a doctorate in sports law. Steve Wigley is alongside Stuart Pearce, his coach from the under-21 setup. This is already the 6th meeting in the 21st century. The Dutch won 2-0 at Tottenham in 2001 when this stadium was being constructed. And the 4 games since have all been drawn. 3 of those in Amsterdam. It's a lovely night for playing, and let's hope that the talent on view, Stuart, can produce a contest. Not come at the best time in the international calendar, of course, for the club managers.
But it's a chance for some of these young players, and also a chance for England's midfield to try and dominate against Holland. Schneider's a good attacking player, but he doesn't like defending. And I've seen a lot of Van Bommel in recent times. He's not a very athletic player. And certainly Stephen Gerrard can run off the back of him.
One interesting note you might have seen from our captions. Dirk Kuyt starting on the right, Arjen Robben on the left. Robin has played a lot of his football recently as a left footer coming from the right, and here's the left footer from left back for England, Leighton Baines. He wasn't trying to score, but very nearly did. Well, preferred to Ashley Cole tonight.
Well, he's got a lot of energy going forward as Leighton Baines. This wasn't a good cross from him, just didn't wrap his foot round it enough. But with Ashley Young coming infield, he would certainly get down the outside of him. Not a good start from Holland, trying to play out from the back.
Boularus, Kout, who only was used as a substitute by Liverpool in the League Cup final here on Sunday, but what an effective one. Came on and scored, and thought he'd won the cup, but then needed to take part in the penalty shootout. Scored again, and Liverpool did prevail over a side from a lower division and from a different country, Cardiff City from Wales. Boularus. Three is another English bass player, Johnny Heitinger, with Joris Matthiessen alongside him.
Good play from, good play from Micah Richards there. There was just a swap in the position of both Robin and Schneider, but Richards got out to Schneider and stopped him playing that forward pass with any precision.
England do have their left footer on the right in Adam Johnson. Clubmate, of course, from Richards at Manchester City. A chance for the Dutch to break here. A typical piece of retrieving by Parker. Kout. De Jong. Now Robin. Kout's made a run, and so has the dangerous Van Persie. And he was looking in there, not for goal, as he's often doing for Arsenal these days, but a little pass towards Dirk Kout that England were able to cut out.
Well, Robin causing problems with his movement. See him coming infield off Micah Richards. Then there's a little run from Dirk Kout. I was expecting Robin Van Persie to twist and turn and try and get the shot in. Dirk Kout almost ran offside there.
It's always a testing time for international teams who haven't had much work on the training ground to deal with set pieces, and also indeed to create them as well. Schneider hasn't yet come into the Premier League here, although there's been a lot of talk, particularly involving Manchester United, one of whose young defenders, Chris Smalling, got a foot in there. Boulay-Roos. Given away by Van Bommel, spotted by Welbeck. Gets it back from Gareth Barry. Fabio Capello certainly had a thing against Micah Richards. He only used him once, and that was a substitute in the last game that England lost, incidentally. It was November 2010. They were beaten here by France. The last game that Gerrard played in as well. Well, that's not been for selection reasons, but fitness reasons.
Adam Johnson out on that right-hand side. He does like to come infield, but he will sweep it with the inside of his left foot down the outside if he thinks he can beat Peters for pace.
Cahill. Ashley Young, who's had 4 or 5 games back with Manchester United after his own knee problems. Gerrard, the power of Richards, and he might get it off the goalkeeper, and Stekelenburg saw enough of Micah Richards to know that he'd got to get it away quickly, and a little flustered there.
Well, it was brilliant defending by Robin to start with, but then played the ball far too hard back to his goalkeeper. There he saw the run of Micah Richards, then very difficult for Stekelenburg.
Baines. It's faded nicely by Young to Johnson. Welbeck coming in. He was quicker than Heitinger. England get the corner.
I'm not sure it was the right run from Steven Gerrard. He got too tight to Johnson, so Johnson played the ball into Welbeck. Should have been rolled along the ground. He might have been able to twist and turn and get a shot away.
This is Chris Smalling trying to guide it down for Young, who's got a bit of room for a shot. And then tries to clip it in the end. It'll come back towards Smalling, and Boulay-Roos has to put it behind for a corner.
Good play from Ashley Young, threatening to cross with his right foot, just chopping it back onto his left. Boulay-Roos just getting the header away.
Richards coming towards the near post. Others like Cahill coming in behind him. There's Cahill. And that was close.
Well, he is a threat in the air, Cahill. He times his run really well. Gets away from his marker, gets in front of Van Bommel at the near post space. But interesting to see at the far post, Boulay-Roos is on the post. He's a good header of the ball. I'm not quite sure what he's doing there.
There he is with the ball at his feet. Kout. Stayed in play. Barry. Really been ringing the changes at right back. England. Smalling has played there. Phil Jones of Manchester United has played there. Kyle Walker, who's pulled out of the squad through injury of Tottenham, has played there. And Micah Richards back in harness tonight. Of course, the regular is Glenn Johnson of Liverpool, who got injured playing here on Sunday in that League Cup.
Well, that certainly looks to be a ball that England have tried to expose the left back. That one was inside him, just didn't quite have the right angle on it, but Baines will get forward from left back as much as he can. He's an excellent crosser of the ball. Just getting some instructions from Stuart Pearce at the moment.
Stuart Pearce has got together here is a team that's young at the back, young in attack, and pretty experienced in midfield. 3 31-year-olds, and Barry, Parker and Gerrard. So he's got a platform there, but he knows pretty much everything that they can do. Real opportunity for others elsewhere in the team. I suppose Joe Hart no doubt count as the senior goalkeeper. His 17th cap tonight. He's still not been on a losing England side at senior level. This might be a match to test that record, though. Not if the Dutch pass it like that, which is out of character. How do you stand on the debate about the Netherlands, Stuart, in terms of they don't play with the total football of the 70s, but they have been accused of being a bit over-muscular?
Well, they're over-muscular, I wouldn't say is quite right. But they don't play with the fluidity. They are quite set in their ways. Their system stays the same. You can almost know exactly where each player is going to be.
That was Young trying to find Gerrard's run. Good closing down by Welbeck, and it's allowed Baines to get involved here. Young again. Gerrard. Here's Barry. You see that Dutch organisation there, set in their ways and strong in their ways, and setting up and saying to England, well, you try and pass your way through it.
But it's, even in attack, there isn't a great deal of fluidity. You know exactly where their players are going to be. This is the player that can make it happen for them, though.
Peters supporting, and it has really fizzed across by the left back.
Yeah, Robin just running into space at the ball, just dragging Micah Richards towards it before playing it out wide. But like Leighton Baines, doesn't get the cross right here. The left back, Peters. Could have embarrassed Joe Hart, couldn't it?
England unbeaten in their last 9 games. They've scored in their last 10. They topped their qualifying group for the Euros, as did the Netherlands, even more emphatically. But remember, the Dutch haven't won in 3. They've made a few changes over that period. They've had a few injuries to deal with as well. And it's been pointed out to me earlier today that they are a relatively small country with a high pedigree of producing top-class footballers, but they feel they just don't have the next level, the backup boys. Maybe England do. Smalling. Cow. Matthijs. And Bommel will be back in London next week, playing for Milan at Arsenal. Here's Kout, supported by Boulahrouz. And Kout running out of room.
Not a good return pass. Kout coming infield to allow Boulahrouz to get forward. I don't think he's known for his quality on the ball, Boulahrouz, a tough tackler, good defensive player. The player they need to get on the ball is Schneider. He's the one that makes them really play when he finds a bit of space in midfield. It hasn't worked so well for Inter Milan this season.
Of course, he had a fantastic World Cup. Scorer and maker of goals. what Bert van Marwijk was hoping, that his more pragmatic approach would just take them that extra step. Of course, it's often pointed out the great team of the 70s lost 2 World Cup finals, 74 and 78, but in their defence, on both occasions, they were playing the host nation.
There's no question about it. They were the best team in 1974 by a mile throughout the tournament. Only to lose to West Germany.
Smalling. Richards trying to make another forward run, but it was easily spotted by Arjen Robben. Van Persie. Now Van Bommel. Back with Nigel de Jong, who's playing against the whole raft of his club mates at Manchester City. Robben. It's a beautifully set up for Schneider, who'd love to come on to the ball for a shot in that kind of area. There he is again with a pass looking for Van Persie.
Well, one of the reasons that Stuart Pearce made Scott Parker captain is for that sort of tackle. Flying out from a defensive position, he got across the field and blocked what could have been a goal-scoring opportunity for Schneider.
Here's Robben. He tries to beat Joe Hart from a tight angle. Hart saw it coming. Welbeck. Seen off by Matthijssen. Sneijder again finding plenty of space. Could be a problem for England. Robben. Getting the better of Richards at least for half a yard, but when the cross came in, the Manchester City man stretched and deflected it behind for the corner.
It is strange to see him out on that left-hand side, because quite often he plays on the right. Just does he get half a yard? There's the shot. It was a good shot as well. Hart did well just to get the block in. Micah Richards letting him come into the box. That's always a dangerous move, because he's only about 7 yards out when he fires that one in.
Well, Richards got a strong head to it. It didn't go, it went higher rather than wider than the penalty area. Crafted back very cleverly by Mark Van Bommel. Robben. Heitinga still in the middle, and Van Persie behind him, but didn't quite pan out the way the Dutch wanted it to.
Well, surprisingly, Dirk Kuyt didn't get into the box. He was staying right out the box there. He's very good at the far post. Just a little bit too high for Robin Van Persie.
46 game in charge of the Dutch national team for Bert van Marwijk, and he's only lost 4. One of those was, of course, the World Cup final. Johnson. Smalling. England to take a patient approach here. Into midfield to Gerrard and back out again to Parker. Now Barry, there's 3 senior citizens in this relatively youthful side. Cahill now of Chelsea, of course, and got his move away from Bolton in the January transfer window.
England keeping the ball, but is there any penetration? It's gone from one side of the field to the other. Scott Parker doesn't need to be that deep. He can play that little bit higher up the field. Leighton Baines is almost playing as a left winger here. Ashley Young's gone infield.
Barry. Cahill pressed by Van Persie. Smalling can come forward. Here's the type of approach that can stretch the opposition if you do push both fullbacks on, but if you lose the ball in a central area, the counter-attack can be very dangerous.
Well, there was a lot of passing going on all in England's half, and then eventually Cahill tries to play a long ball forward. England have got it back now, but they have to pass quickly through midfield. Let's be a little bit more zip to the passing.
Welbeck. Well, Richards, who's invariably positive with his movement, has jogged on, and England have worked it. Ashley Young gave it back to Gerrard, who couldn't thread the eye of the needle with the last pass that might have really opened up the Dutch. Now Van Bommel. Schneider and Percy on the move, and that's where England have got to be vigilant. And looking at him, they lost count for a moment until Baines came in with a tackle that he might have done a little bit of damage to himself in making it. A fair amount of sparring going on here.
Oh, the one time that England did just quicken up the passing when it went into Steven Gerrard, he played that ball round the corner. As though England might break down Holland.
Van Bommel. Here's Count and Schneider getting into the game more and more, and that'll be a concern for England. And, this is a buccaneering run, which needed a decent block in the end to stop Robin van Persie.
Once again, it was Parker that got across. He saw the danger, threw his body on the line. Robin van Persie, everyone talks about his left foot, but he can shoot with his right as well.
Baines. Gerrard, who might have been a little bit surprised to have been passed over as England's skipper tonight. He's led the national team 15 times. He was in charge at the World Cup in 2010 when Rio Ferdinand pulled out pre-tournament with an injury sustained in South Africa. Could be, of course, that Gerrard will go off at half-time after his extra workload here for Liverpool on Sunday, and that Stuart Pearce wanted someone who's likely to play the full 90 minutes. Parker can't play for his club Spurs on Sunday, as he's suspended for the match against Manchester United, having been sent off against Arsenal last Sunday. Schneider. And Boularus for Kaut, who does prefer playing on the right. So the change involving Robin would suit the Liverpool man as well. Van Bommel. And here is Arjen Robben, left-footed from the left, but eye off the ball. And that's what happens even to the best players around. And one thing you can be sure, that Mark Van Bommel will make a tackle that, if it doesn't get a yellow card, it'll be worthy of one.
He knew exactly what he was doing there. Seen him play for a lot for Milan this season. He can't move when people run past him, so he has to foul. That's a poor challenge. He's getting away from Robin. There's Micah Richards, Van Bommel with the sliding challenge. Poor one.
Ashley Young. Barry. Adam Johnson coming in, trying to reverse it back into a little bit of space, but his pass was blocked away from Steven Gerrard, who was the target of it.
Well, you could see what Adam Johnson was looking for, because he'd come infield, then left that little bit of space. The fullback had gone in with him. Steven Gerrard was aware of the space and made the run. Just can't quite get the pass right, Adam Johnson.
Here's Boularus. And Percy stopped by Barry. Taken on by Parker. Nothing to the right of Johnson. Richards has stayed back and hasn't got either the energy or the chance really to come up on the gallop as he often does. Kaut. Sneijder gets it back from Van Bommel. Van Persie. This is Robin. Sneijder trying to give one or two defenders the eyes, and in the end not making a space for any attempt at goal. Not yet. Not this time. Good work by Smalling for England.
Robin van Persie was trying to back into him. Smalling was having none of it. Crowd getting a little bit impatient because England aren't playing forward quickly enough at times. Now they are.
And they've got Baines on the gallop. Good stopping of the supply by Khalid Belarus. And Parker tries again. Halfway through the first half here. Ooh. That wasn't very well timed by Heitinger. German referee contenting himself with a ticking off as he did with Van Bommel a couple of minutes ago.
He just moved the ball at the last minute here, Welbeck. There it goes. Just as Heitinger was about to make the challenge. It's good centre forward play. It's just a little bit too tight, a bit too eager, Heitinger.
Well, England have come closest really with a Cahill effort from a set piece. Young with the delivery. Stekelenburg opts to punch it away, and if Johnson could have taken that with a first touch to square himself up to the goal again, he could have maybe got something back quicker. The goalkeeper who was a little bit off his line, but it didn't happen. Count. Never shy of dropping in to defend. Sneijder. Now to Young. Well, England forcing the much vaunted Dutch back. Coutts' header might be collected by Welbeck here. Stekelenburg did very well. And here's De Jong, who's not really fitted for going down the outside at pace, so make sure that his nation keep possession.
He thought about it though, just for a moment. He thought about it.
He thought better of it.
Yeah.
But Danny Welbeck's speed off the mark there almost embarrassed Dirk Kuyt and the Dutch. Here's Sneijder, again looking for Van Persie, and again read well by Smalling.
Well, when the game's played at a slow pace, it suits Holland much better than it does England. They're more comfortable when it's played at a slow pace and they can pick their runs.
Welbeck. Remember back in November, England beat here with a pragmatic display, shall we say, the reigning European and world champions Spain. Forced wide by Gerrard. Here's Johnson trying to get up ahead of steam, and he's into the penalty area where they've got to be careful in challenging him. A deflection on the shot. England get a corner, might have had more from Adam Johnson. Tricky wing play.
Well, it's good play from Johnson, not good play from Peters to allow Johnson to come in the box. When he picked up the ball, he was almost on the touchline. Weaving onto his right foot. It's a good strike. It's Heitinger probably on the hand, maybe. Certainly wasn't worthy of a penalty, but it just took it wide.
England go short with a corner. Here's Ashley Young. Welbeck's waiting to be set up. Too many bodies in black and orange to get the ball through.
Well, they've done well, England, in 1v1 situations. There again, Ashley Young just dropped his shoulder. Usually see Ryan Robin up the other end dropping his shoulder and going past defenders.
The two nations in different stages, really. England now trying to construct a side with a newer look to it, whereas the Dutch have now, they've got a side that's good enough to get to a World Cup final, and most of the components still available to them, but there's obviously only a certain shelf life. for the likes of Van Bommel coming towards the end of their international career, but proud and strong professional players, not wanting to give up on their patriotic support for their country. Johnson, who just had that joy against Eric Peters, is backing off again, and again Johnson's got into the penalty area. Richards, lovely change of direction for him. Ashley Gunn, if it had gone down, it would have been a penalty. In the end, the shot by Barry, still alive for England, and Richards. Stuart Robson.
Yeah, the referee's absolutely right on all counts there. Not to give a penalty. This was good play from Adam Johnson. Once again, Micah Richards getting forward. Was there a little clip on Ashley? He stayed on his feet. Gareth Barry with the strike, hits a couple of defenders. And then when it comes to Micah Richards again, he tries to show good strength. But actually, it's good defending from Tyson, just stepping across him there at the last moment. But good play from England, and twice Adam Johnson's got on the ball and run at the defender Peters, who's backing off and backing off. That's always dangerous.
And Richard knows Johnson, club football together, and now a chance for them in the international setup. Often the way for international teams to have little pockets of players, parts of units that work game in, game out in club football and take it into the international arena.
Well, we haven't seen it so far, but when Joe Hart gets the ball from goalkeeper's kicks for Man City, Micah Richards goes into an outside right position, even when he's playing at right back, and they hit him in the air, and they start their moves from there at times. I'm sure we'll see that at some point tonight.
Here's Gareth Barry, also of Manchester City. Leighton Baines of Everton. Almost a case of England have the speed and the youth. The Dutch have the class and the know-how of playing a lot of games at this level. But they're not the most mobile of teams these days. Barry, Parker, now Gerrard. So good to see him playing again for England. It's no exaggeration to say that his career was in jeopardy with the injury that he's most recently recovered from.
He's been given a little bit of a free role here tonight, playing in front of the other two midfield players, but he will drop deep, get the ball. He's trying to hit a couple of big diagonals, one a perfect one out to Adam Johnson early on in the game. Another one that he hit to his feet, caused the problems.
Well, we know the new kit will last for a while, a year or so. That's what the manufacturers usually do. What about the new captain? What about the new coach?
Well, it'll be interesting to see whether it lasts more than one game. Stuart Pearce has had a good record with the under-21s in qualifying for tournaments. The performances in the tournaments haven't been particularly good under him.
To be fair, they got to a semi-final against the Dutch in 2007. They got to the final, and a very, very good German side beat them in the end emphatically.
I think it's been the level of their performance and the lack of guile and imagination in their play that's worried people.
Yeah, I think that's a fair comment.
Scott Parker and Smalling just trying to double up there on Robin van Persie. Robin van Persie wins the free kick.
When I talk about the Dutch maybe lacking a bit of mobility, there are some exceptions to that comment, including
You've just picked
Robin
him out.
van Persie. Arjen Robben.
I'm not sure Arjen Robben is quite as quick as he once was when he was at Chelsea. He was absolutely electric when he was playing that one season where he almost won the league for Chelsea.
Here's Snyder. Robben, of course, was fantastic when Bayern Munich got to the Champions League final a couple of years ago now, but he seems to spend as much time off the pitch on the treatment table as he does on it.
Well, when he's in tandem with Ribéry at Bayern Munich, they are a very good side, but they're not playing particularly well at the moment. Stuart Pearce just giving some instructions to Ashley Young out there. And it looks as though Steven Gerrard is going to come off here. Let's hope this isn't an injury.
Well, Daniel Sturridge. I just wondered whether there was a cut, but it's not that. Daniel Sturridge's second cap was a substitute here against Sweden. And he was in tandem in the under-21 tournament, the most recent one in Denmark in June 2011 with Welbeck. Ashley Young's going to play behind Welbeck. Sturridge to the right and Johnson to the left.
I'm not sure that's going to please Adam Johnson, because he does like playing out on that right-hand side.
And
but that's
in the last 10 minutes or so, he's done really well.
But that's where Sturridge likes to play, and where he's had so much success for Chelsea. And Ashley Young has played for Manchester United. He's played for England there. There is the newcomer, Sturridge.
Richards, who played in the same Manchester City youth setup, and maybe one or two first-team games as well with Daniel Sturridge before he left City for what he thought was greater opportunity at Chelsea. It didn't immediately turn out that way, but it has done certainly this season. And Bommel trying to let the ball do the work, but he made enough contact on Ashley Young to catch the eye of the referee. And here comes Sturridge, anxious to please. A very good first contribution, and it almost created a tap-in for Welbeck.
It's good play from Sturridge, but I'm not sure what the left-back's doing. You can't allow someone to start running at you back off into the box. Once they've got a certain bit of pace going on, they have to change the angle of the ball, and they're going to get a crossing.
Well, you might have thought Eric Peters would be pleased to see Johnson go to the other side of the pitch, and then this is what happens.
Yeah, a little step over, just takes it to the byline. Never looks like getting a block in, does he? Eric Peters there. Certainly that's the out ball for England, where they can cause problems.
Heitinger. Snyder. Oh, a slip by Richards, and he got enough of his square frame on the ball as he was losing his balance to make it stick.
Well, it is a massive night for Micah Richards, isn't it? He must be nervous, hasn't played for so long in an England shirt. Discarded by the previous manager. He knows that Stuart Pearce likes him. Does he handball it here? He slips over and it hits him on the shoulder. Certainly not handball. Just recovered enough to get the clearance in.
Of course, he got into the England team as a teenager and maybe let a bit of fame go to his head. That's something that he's tried to improve. Leveled out his bling collection, maybe.
Well, I think one of the problems that he's had, because he was such an exceptional young player and he had great power and pace, he could get away with his power and pace, and he didn't have to read the game. And when he played at international level, suddenly players were making runs off the back of him and he couldn't read situations, and that's exactly what Capello didn't like, because under Steve McLaren he was the #1 right back, wasn't he?
He's still only 23. Here's Van Persie. Eased out of it by Barry, who says, I got the ball, but got a bit of the Arsenal man as well.
Dare I criticise Robin Van Persie after the last couple of seasons he had, but one thing you can say about him, he does go down rather easily at times.
Oh, a little bit of dribbling skills there by Nigel de Jong. Snyder. Headed away by Smalling. Barry and Richards help out. Matthijssen. Welbeck chasing down every possible opportunity.
He's just had a poor last 10 minutes, Micah Richards, after a good couple of forward runs.
And now Robin and Van Persie. who scored a truly wonderful goal on Sunday for Arsenal against their North London rivals Tottenham from a similar position. And this time got right underneath it.
It's a good combination play from the Dutch. Robin was found by Schneider. Set up nicely for Robin van Persie, but just leaning back, didn't get his knee over the ball.
Stekelenburg to be sure with his first touch, with Welbeck again chasing down the goalkeeper. Seen as a foul by Cahill on Van Persie.
Clever play from Robin van Persie, backed in and then made no attempt to jump. Cahill had jumped early. Little look at the referee, yeah, and you've won the free kick.
Heitinger. Now Baines. Parker, a great honour to be named as England's player of 2011. Only year in his career where he's been a regular at full international level. Barry. Deflects off count, might actually help Welbeck, and does. Quickly supported by Johnson. Johnson again. Barry. Nicely done for Johnson. And Peters, who's had a tough 39 minutes here, has to concede the corner.
Yeah, he got his position right on that occasion for that big diagonal ball played over the top.
It's an England corner. Cahill on the move, Smalling on the move. Gareth Barry round the back, headed away by Van Bommel, and Sneijder should complete the clearance, and has done more than that. He's found Robin. He has to use all of his deft touches to try and keep the ball, and he hasn't managed that. But in his anxiety to get it wide again, Sturridge just overplays it. Good movement by Gareth Barry.
Yeah, just pulls off at the back post, gets away from Robin van Persie, heads it back into a danger area, but really good play from Van Bommel. He did just stay on his post, he came off, he realised the situation. And that's why he's such an experienced player and has been able to play for so many years. Might not have athleticism, but he's certainly got a good brain.
Parker. Johnson. Ooh, that was accidental, but quite dangerous. At least I hope it was accidental from Dirk Kuyt's point of view. Parker's not so sure.
Well, I think De Jong and Kuyt were in there. I think De Jong kicks Parker into Kuyt. There he goes. Whoops, there we are. And he then goes into one of the mics on the side of the field. Painful.
Not on a night like this, Scott Parker ready to be up and at him again. Here's Ashley Young. It's a very good ball in and inviting. It's another element that Richards does bring when he plays. He's such a spring-heeled attacker of a ball.
He's a brilliant header of the ball. I thought he was going to get on the end of this one. It just had a bit too much pace and height on it from Ashley Young. It's a great delivery, and it was Smalling just behind Richards that had a chance as well. But when he gets forward, he's a really threatening player, Micah Richards.
Here's Nigel de Jong. Sneijder. Kuyt. Boularus. Peters with a cross. And Percy was calling for it.
Well, I don't quite understand that from Peters. It's obvious that he's got to move the ball and just get Micah Richards out of the way, but it was too easy for Richards just to get out there and get a block in.
Been over-penetrating in free play, England, but there have been signs of coordination and understanding.
Well, their biggest threat has certainly been when they've switched the play quickly out to that right-hand side. That looks to be the key to their attacking play. It's up now to Ashley Young when he's playing behind that role, just to quicken the pace of things up.
Sturridge. Johnson. England with plenty forward here, and it leads to a header from Ashley Young.
Good play again from Johnson, twisting and turning, getting the crossing with his right foot. Ashley Young making the late run into the box, but almost impossible to get over the top of that. Just a little bit too high for him, but good to see him get in the box, Ashley Young, from that deep centre-forward position.
He scored 3 goals in the last 4 qualifiers as England topped their group.
Well, he started out as a centre-forward at Watford when I saw him play as a young player. Certainly can play centrally.
Snyder, hounded by Richards, but he had the skill to get away from the Manchester City right back. De Jong, Snyder. Now Robin, pressed back by Parker's endeavours again. De Jong. Count, trying to get into the game. But, he found a little pocket of space. He couldn't find Wesley Sneijder with the pass.
Yeah, once again, Wesley Sneijder and Robin just changing positions. Sneijder going wide that time into a little bit of space. Dirk Kuyt coming infield as he does so well. But the pass wasn't quite right from him.
Dirk Kuyt closing down here. We'll be wondering how his club skipper is. Steven Gerrard off for England after just only half an hour or so of the game. Got a big match on Saturday lunchtime at Anfield against Robin van Persie and Arsenal. No time added on, a fairly measured first half, but England had some danger through Adam Johnson and then Danny Sturridge when he came on for Gerrard. Stuart Pearce made that change. Both of them getting at the rather beleaguered Dutch left-back Eric Peters. And that looks a route for England to try and exploit in the second half. Scott Parker driving them forward when he can on his big night as England captain for the first time. At half-time at Wembley, it's England 0, the Netherlands 0.
Four live Bundesliga matches this weekend with Hertha Berlin versus Werder Bremen, Dortmund versus Mainz, Nuremberg versus Gladbach, and Hoffenheim versus Cologne. 4 live Bundesliga matches this weekend on Setanta Sports. Live South American football with the Copa Libertadores on Setanta Sports.
Hello, first day of footy tipping. Last year, best result in a long time. Tomo, good bloke, terrible tipper. Young Sam from the mailroom, you got to watch those rookies. Susie, claims she hates footy, but tips like a pro. And Barry, back-to-back champion. Rumour has it he's got commemorative tattoos. Wouldn't spoon to make a nice tat, Barry.
Footytips.com.au become the one.
Live SPL continues this weekend on Setanta Sports. On Saturday night, league leader Celtic travel to Pittodrie to take on Aberdeen. And on Sunday night, it's Tannadice for Dundee United versus Inverness. Live SPL this weekend on Setanta Sports. Watch Euro 2012 live this June on Setanta Sports.
Welcome back to Wembley. James Milner, even more Manchester City, but he has replaced a clubmate in Gareth Barry. And the Hunter, Klaas-Jan Huntelaar, has come on. An expected change for Robin van Persie up front for the Netherlands. And maybe an expected change at left back. Eric Peters had a harrowing first half here. And Stijn Schaars is going to defend that side of the pitch for Bert van Marwijk. England start the second half. Having got together, I think it's fair to say, more as a unit as the first half developed. Against a side that was very much a unit from the outset because they played so often together. Smalling. Cahill. Strong challenge by Matthijssen. Huntelaar's having a fantastic season in Germany with Schalke. Counting his international goals, he's got 36 already this season.
He will lead the line well. It's a different sort of player to Robin van Persie, but a crunching challenge from Micah Richards here.
And a yellow card for him. The referee was pretty lenient in the first half. Felix Brych, who's remembered in the London area as the man who sent off Peter Crouch in the Champions League in Madrid.
It was a strong challenge, but he's going for the ball, and actually Robin's running across him. Certainly no intent from Micah Richards. Been unfortunate there to get a booking. Yes, it's a foul, but that's about it.
De Jong. Heitinga. Now Van Bommel. Schneider. Is it going to skip away off the Wembley turf? It does. From the advancing Belarus.
Well, that's what Schneider can do once he gets a bit of time in that midfield area. He either picks it up and runs with it and shoots, or finds a really good pass. Just overhit that one to the overlapping Belarus.
Bert van Marwijk was planning, I think, on making several changes at half-time, but probably thought his first half performance from his team was not as fluent enough, and he wants to give primarily their starting players for the Euros a bit more action.
Not a good start from Schaars there. Went to sleep off the throw-in. Now Ashley Young to get in behind him.
Welbeck making use of himself to Stekelenburg, the goalkeeper who plays in Italy these days. Too high. Richards. Sturridge! the most difficult save that Stekelenburg's had to make so far, and it's come from the first half substitute, Daniel Sturridge.
I thought he had an opportunity to shoot a little bit early, but he does well just to get it onto his left foot, and it just dips in front of the goalkeeper. It's a good save from Stekelenburg. There's a little drag back, good skill, and it is a good save from the Roma keeper.
It's interesting that the famous club Ajax has no current players in this squad, but there are plenty of ex-Ajax players. They're a selling club these days, including Stekelenburg.
Had a bad injury right at the start of the season. Head injury that meant he missed a few weeks. Found it difficult to get his form back, Stekelenburg.
It's interesting that Edwin van der Sar, one of his great predecessors, also didn't have a great time when he moved to Italian football. That came good again. Van Bommel. Now Robin. And both sides trying to play little give and goes, and the Dutch having lost the ball, won it back again. Kout. Van Bommel. It's one or two signs that the Netherlands are moving the ball with a bit more tempo now, and that could spell problems for England. Robin. Sneijder. Kout. Can't work it through. Young trying to work it out, but it's taken from him. Sneijder. Back to Nigel de Jong. Kout. Penalised for handball.
Just looks a bit sluggish, Dirk Kout, at times tonight. He's done some good things. He's finding a lot of space coming infield, but he's let the ball run away from him 2 or 3 times. Just looks like he's struggling with a bit of pace.
He didn't play, as I say, until late in the game and then through extra time here on Sunday. But of course, the emotional experience of winning a trophy and the celebrations takes its toll. I was talking to him before the game. He was so happy. It's his 6th season with Liverpool. He's finally won something.
And could that give them that little edge to go on a look and start to win other things and get into the top 4 again? There's nothing like winning a trophy to give you confidence. And he gets the ball there. Shars, the left back, gets a little bit of Sturridge as well.
Stein Shars plays in Portugal for Sporting, and often in midfield rather than at left back, but there's a job to be done for his country tonight. Johnson. Just wonder whether England can get a 3rd consecutive Wembley 1-0 win, having dished out that scoreline to Spain and then Sweden in quick succession here in November. And all seemed well in Fabio Capello's world as England's head coach.
Now this is where you need England's centre-halves, just to show have they got the capability on the ball to pick out passes, have they got the capability to hit big diagonals out to the wide players, or come out and play themselves, driving into space, because they've got lots of time at the back, Smalling and Cahill. The Dutch are letting them play. Can they make use of it?
Foul by Boulahrouz on Leighton Baines. A tackle from a slightly threatening angle, and that'll be talked about in the Manchester City dressing room, maybe on the training ground in the days to come.
Or maybe not, the way they looked at each other there. There's obviously no love lost between those 2 players at times. Don't have to like your teammates, do you?
No.
Well, you might say the people you work with.
Well, I'm pretty happy with you alongside me, but as long as you mind your P's and Q's for the rest of the match, of course. Here's Robin. De Jong. Now Sneijder. Van Bommel. There's no doubt that Huntelaar hasn't got the subtlety in his game that Van Persie has, but he is an extraordinarily efficient finisher.
He actually made a good run there, but well seen by Cahill, who just dropped off. When he was at Bolton, he didn't always do that this season.
Now Snyder. Here is Huntelaar. As I say, very efficient around goal. Good try.
Certainly was, and he backs off just to find himself a bit of space. Cahill goes and closes him down, cuts across the ball, never going in, but good, powerful strike from him. That's what players like to do, centre forwards. We saw Robin Van Persie do it in the first half, just drop off away from their centre halves to give the centre halves a problem.
I sold a lot of tickets for this game, but I don't think everybody's got a ticket has actually come tonight. A lot of gaps in the top tier. Just coming back from an offside position, Welbeck.
Just a bit of needle between Heitinga and Welbeck there. Haven't seen those dynamic runs from Welbeck. There hasn't been too much space to run into. Holland had defended quite deeply at times. It's probably the right way for them to defend against Welbeck.
High foot from Milner.
Thinking his preferred role, isn't it? Centre midfield.
Yeah. If you asked him where he wanted to play, that would be exactly it.
I think it changed his career when he played there for Aston Villa. Started to put in some great central midfield performances. That's what took the eye of Roberto Mancini.
Van Bommel. Matthijs. Baines did well to make the header, and it actually fell into an area where it was collected by Adam Johnson. Johnson started last season very well for England. He scored in a couple of qualifiers here against Bulgaria and away to Switzerland. Big wins. It's been short of opportunities in recent months. Now Robin. Huntelaar making a run, and Robin using him as a decoy. It's a fantastic goal. If you think Arjen Robben is a declining force, think again.
Brilliant from Arjen Robben, but you've also got to give a bit of credit to Huntelaar, who made the diagonal run. The two centre halves with him. I'm a bit disappointed with Sturridge, because he's up against Robben and he allows Robben just to run away from him. Sturridge doesn't make enough effort to get back. Now Cahill's got the problem. Smalling went too far across, and once he changes direction, he can't get back Smalling. It's a poor decision from Smalling to go that far across the field, but what a strike from Arjen Robben. Low, hard, right into the corner. Here comes the change of direction. He opens it up for himself, and then he just hits the back of the ball with pace and power.
16th goal for his country, and a little grin at the moment. Well known in London, of course, for his time with Chelsea, and when he does score a goal, it is often something that you'll remember for a long, long time. That's a wonderful Wembley goal for the Dutch, and for Robben in particular. Young thought he was fouled. Here come the World Cup finalists again. Huntelaar. Counts cross. Huntelaar, 2-0. Well, it looks as though he's been maybe knocked out, not knowing that he scored.
Well, he's in a bit of trouble here, but what a cross it was from Dirk Kuyt. Almost impossible to get that beyond the first defender, but both these players have got a problem here. Smalling it was, trying to back in. Here's the pass out from Huntelaar to start with. Then the cross comes in, and he goes into the back of him to Smalling. It goes over the top of Cahill. Smalling's trying to get round, but what a cross and what a header. Once again, no chance for Joe Hart. Here's the collision. Smalling knows that Huntelaar's going to win it. He's got to get round. Oh, there's a real clash of heads there.
Well, the thrill of the goal was followed very quickly by the concern for the goal scorer. Put right on the money by Dirk Kuyt. Butted into the back of the net by Klaas-Jan Huntelaar. But at some cost. The Dutch lead at Wembley by 2-0. Their only victory at the old stadium was by that scoreline back in the late 1970s when Jan Peters scored twice. Smalling in need of attention as well.
Oh, looks the worst, doesn't he, Smalling? Downing's ready to come on. What a blow this is for England. Not just the injury to Smalling, but the fact that they're 2-0 down at home at Wembley.
It's Huntelaar's 50th cap, incidentally. He scored his 31st goal, and now he's only 9 behind the all-time record scorer Patrick Kluivert.
Oh, you said it when he came on. He might not have the finesse and the imagination of Robin van Persie, but he's certainly a great goal scorer. And he actually played the ball wide and got himself into the box. He got between the two centre-halves. And it's a really good header, but oof, that's a... Just seeing how Smalling lands. Does he land badly on his heel? On his ankle? Because he might be out by the time he's falling to the ground, Smalling.
Well, Huntelaar is on his feet, and there's nothing like a goal to get rid of the pain. I wonder how much he knows about it, though, because at the moment he headed the ball, Smalling headed him, but if you make that sort of contact, you would have expected to score.
Looks like the way he's holding the sponge against his nose, he may even have a broken nose there.
Well,
Join the club.
Smalling is off, and Phil Jones, his Manchester United teammate, an under-21 central defender partnership that he had with England at under-21 level under Stuart Pearce. Huntelaar probably being advised to stay off, but the natural competitor in him maybe wants to come back on. We'll see about that, but the bigger concern at the moment is Smalling. Gary Lewin is the England head physio on the left of your picture. They're taking no chances. The delay is absolutely understandable, and nobody in the stadium is begrudging the proper medical care for Chris Smalling. Luke de Jong is going to sub the sub. But Huntelaar has left an imprint on the match, as Smalling has left an imprint on his face.
A good little cameo, wasn't it, from Huntelaar? Made the run that allowed Robin to go in the other direction. He took both centre-halves with him. That was the first goal. On the second one, played it wide, got himself into the box, and an excellent header.
Stuart Downing came on during that delay for Adam Johnson. Phil Jones is waiting to come on for Chris Smalling, who's getting a standing ovation here. But with damage done to a player, it's the damage that's done to England in the match that we've got to now reassess. 2 goals in a couple of minutes. Huntelaar adding his header to Robins' terrific run.
So I think the game's been, from England's point of view, the game has been played at too slow a pace, and the Dutch are much better when it's played at too slow a pace. They can pick their passes out. They're more comfortable. England like playing at a high tempo, and they haven't done that here tonight.
Well, a delay, the best part of 5 minutes, but the damage done to England, 2 goals in 90 seconds, as suddenly the Dutch look like the side that their record tells you they are. Fantastic qualifying campaign to get to the Euro finals. Just a little bit of a blip in recent games, and a pretty anemic first half from them here in truth. And maybe that's why Bert van Marwijk made relatively few changes at half-time. And if he gave them a little bit of a pep-up at half-time, it's worked.
And it's a game, prestigious game that the Dutch would want to win. They haven't won for 3. They've certainly played much better in this second half, and their counter-attacking's been excellent.
Jones has come on at right back, and Richards has gone to play in the middle. Oh, and a chance for England to get one back. Stuart Downing still looking for his first international goal.
Well, it is a good delivery from the right-hand side. Downing just pulls off the back of the defender, Belarus, and just gets a really good strike. Milner just lifting it to that far post. Downing backing off. It's a good strike from him. Hits the right areas, back across the goal. Just not on target.
Downing was man of the match here in the League Cup final, as Liverpool got their silverware. Milner.
I don't mind that from Milner. He's saying to Welbeck, go on, I'm going to give you a couple of balls to chase. Get in behind the Dutch. Let's try and stretch them a little bit. Everything's been too much in front of them. Easy for them to defend, to keep their shape.
It's Phil Jones's 4th cap, Stuart. First one was at right back, and he's had 2 games in midfield. Here he is at right back again, when really Manchester United signed him as a central defender, or that's where he was playing for his previous club.
And that's where he was playing for the under-21s as well, alongside Smalling. But the reason I think that people are starting, and it's a bit unfair on him, the game against Newcastle, when Barr caused him a real problem in the air, I think people start to look, well, maybe he's not a particularly good header of the ball, and you can't play at centre-half if you can't head the ball. But he'll get better in that position. I'm sure he'll end up being a centre-half.
And here is Richards, who certainly can head the ball in a central defensive position. Fortunate then.
He played a lot of games for Man City at centre-half, didn't he, Micah Richards? Alongside Richard Dunn for a while. It's a good pairing they had.
Downing thought he was impeded, the referee didn't. But the Dutch have got plenty of goal-getting options. We talked about Van Persie, 29 goals for Arsenal this season. We had Huntelaar, who got his 37th goal in all matches in the campaign, and now Luc de Jong, who's got 23 this season, including 1 for his country. His club is Twente, managed by the former England manager Steve McLaren. Shards with the throw.
Jones just trying to increase the intensity there, get on with the game. There's nobody really working for him. Milner gives the ball away. It's not going England's way at the moment, nor this man's way. He'll have been looking for a more inspirational performance from his team.
Van Bommel. Stekelenburg made a very important save, didn't he, early in the second half from Daniel Sturridge when it was still 0-0.
No, he's got this wrong, the referee. De Jong was never looking to head the ball, he was just backing in and backing in.
Here's Robben. Dutch tails are up here. Oh, and that might have been heading towards the far corner, but Richards got in the way.
Well, he went past Jones far too easily here. Picks up the ball, starts running at the inside of Jones, just changes direction, and Micah Richards gets a really good blocking because that was going in the far corner. What's the change of direction? This is what he did for the goal. Change of direction, hits it hard. Richards blocks it well.
Short corner to count from Schneider. Sturridge gets a challenge in and the Dutch have to start again. It's a far cry from the game, that the old Wembley that Stuart Pearce played in Euro 96 when it was the SAS, Shearer and Sheringham, leading England to a 4-1 win. Nearly going 3-0 down.
Dirk Kuyt just backing in there. Does he get a touch on this? No, he doesn't. Thought it actually came off Milner. Does it? Let's have another look. I think Milner just gets a little touch and then it takes an awkward bounce off the turf. But a good delivery into the box, and Joe Hart nowhere near it.
Obviously deemed to have come off count in the end. Parker. Well, the clock says there's 20 minutes to go, but there'll be a good dollop of added time because of the delay for the injuries, the head clash between Smalling and Huntelaar. Boularus, Schneider. Heitinger. De Jong unable to connect with the defender's run, and England got 4 forward here. Welbeck on the ball. Now Young to link it up with his Manchester United colleague.
Well, you can see what he was trying to do. The idea was quite good. Just Van Bommel read it as well, saying that he was unathletic, Van Bommel, but he made good strides there to get back and defend.
Young. Milner wins England a corner.
When England are struggling, they often get themselves back into the game from a set play. Micah Richards, Cahill, both dangerous in the air.
Welbeck can head it too. Actually, Milner was unmarked. Van Bommel saw it coming. Parker. Nothing forward of him on the right-hand side. Cahill has stayed forward through the middle. Jones has done well to get past Dirk Kuyt. Now Sturridge. England needing a bit of inspiration. Maybe Sturridge can provide it. Not quite.
Better defending from Shahs. Backing off like his teammate Peters did earlier on, but this time he reads exactly what he's going to do and shows good body strength. Just get himself in front of Sturridge.
Interception by Milner. Downing. Baines outside it. Downing goes for the cross, met by Matthijssen.
Good defending from Matthijssen, just getting in front of Welbeck on the volley. Good clearance.
And is he offside? It wasn't offside. What a chance for Danny Sturridge to get England back into the contest.
It's the first time we've seen Leighton Baines get into a forward area in this second half. He's certainly not offside. He's going for goal. Leighton Baines just gets it on the wrong part of his foot here. Here's that cross a little bit earlier on. Here comes the Baines, strikes across the ball, certainly going for goal.
And Sturridge looked round hoping that the flag would be up, and it wasn't.
Just anxious when the ball gets to him.
There's good work by Welbeck in that attack as well to set it up for Baines.
It's going to be a booking for Tyson.
Best cross by Jones, but he says there was handball. Cleared by Count. Parker. Milner had stayed back. Bert van Marwijk's going to make another change. That's good play by Van Bommel. Robin wanting more, certainly capable of getting more. Hart prevents the corner. They still can't get Irby Emanuelson on.
Once again, that's what Robin does so well. Once he got it onto his left foot, you always knew he was going to try and come in field. The run in front of him from Schneider just took a couple of players away.
Schneider trying to play him through the middle that time. Sturridge. Now Parker. Ashing in danger of running offside, and he's just there, but Stekelenburg, as he did once in the first half with that poor back header from Count, has a good starting position, and he read the danger well. He wasn't to know the flag was going to go up.
Well, I'm not sure De Jong read the danger well. I wasn't quite so convinced it was offside, but Schneider's coming off. He started to dictate the play in the second half. And Emanuelson will come on, who's playing for Milan at the moment in exactly the same position behind the main strikers.
It's a position he's enjoying in club football, Irby Emanuelson, who was often used when he was playing in club football in Holland as a left back, but not deemed the man to come on to plug that or solve that problem of the first half when Eric Peters was really run ragged at times by a combination of Adam Johnson and Daniel Sturridge. England's free kick. Milner. Welbeck. Born in Manchester to Ghanaian parents, and there were issues about whether he would choose to play for Ghana rather than for England.
He got a bit of stick off the Ghana supporters here.
He did when he came on for his debut, yeah.
It was a good run for him, but what I've been impressed with Holland's back players, they've dropped off at the right times. There's been no space for Welbeck to run in. The only time we've seen somebody run in behind Holland was that last run from Ashley Young where he was just offside.
Van Bommel. Count. Foot raised by Baines. Little mini Merseyside derby. There's going to be an England debut. Danny Welbeck this time having come on for his 3 previous caps. Starting tonight, he's going to be substituted by Fraser Campbell, another who's come through the under-21 setup under Stuart Pearce, and just to prove that he's still got energy to burn. Welbeck doing the closing down, and maybe they're going to hold the substitution for a moment, are they?
I thought that might just buy him another minute there,
yeah.
but not to be the case. Or is it now?
Still on, Welbeck. Jones. driving on here, looking for Danny Welbeck. Cahill. He's a gifted footballer. Always the finished article as a defender. Oh, and a stumble by Parker. Allowing Robin, who, fortunately for Scott Parker, his first touch took him wide, and he tries to dig out across, the ball's gone out. And Luke de Jong's off target anyway. So now England will make their latest change.
Substitution for England. Coming off the field, number 9, Danny Welbeck.
Welbeck of Manchester United goes off. Fraser Campbell, once at Manchester United, came through their youth development system. Now plays for Sunderland, and is only just back, Stuart, isn't he, from a long time absence with knee problems. Scored a couple of goals and caught the attention of his old under-21 boss, Stuart Pearce.
Well, he's had an excellent start back at Sunderland after his injury. As you said, scoring a couple of goals, but he's led the line well. Session has been playing slightly behind him, and they've worked excellently together. He's got plenty of pace, that's for sure. He's an intelligent footballer as well.
Going to get a good 15 minutes here with the added time. De Jong. One De Jong to another. Robin claiming handball and getting it.
Parker made the mistake in midfield, twisted and turning on the ball, just slipped over. Still tried to head it when it was on the ground.
Ron the Flower giving his instructions. Downing. Milner. Baines getting forward again. He's inside of Downing. Milner's on the outside. Here he is. Plenty in the box, but Heitinga, and that means the midfield's a bit emptied here, and the Dutch are set up for another counter-attack. Emmanuelson. No need for the Dutch to go through the gears, really. They have the 2-0 lead. Goals after 57 and 59 minutes from Robin and Huntelaar. Van Bommel. Well, Count, who put in that fabulous cross for the second goal. Quite get it into the right area that time. It's Belarus who's going off.
Did his job well, Belarus. Didn't get forward that much, although he did try and break into the right areas on a couple of occasions when Snyder had the ball, but he defended well.
Blah of Feyenoord. Plays for his country for the 5th time. But still plenty of experience, the campaigners out there, like Van Bommel and Heitinga, Count and Robin. Matthijssen. Klaar's going to play in the middle of the defence. Heitinga to right back.
Talked about Jones playing in several different positions. Heitinga's the same sort of player, isn't he? He can play at right back. We've seen him in midfield. He's done a lot of work for Everton at centre half and for the Dutch.
Jones. Now Baines. Still enough left in the game for England to ruffle some famous feathers if they were to get 1 goal back. Richards. So often a lot of ballyhoo about England's chances in England when a major tournament comes around, puts a lot of pressure on the players' expectations. This certainly hasn't increased expectations for the Euros, but Sturridge might do that.
But great defending from Vlaar in the end. He's under real pressure because Sturridge had got the first turn in. Looks like he's going to get away from him, but Vlaar threw himself across. Got the block in, just as Scott Parker did a couple of times in the first half.
Young, pursued by Robin, putting in a very good shift here. Have been one or two issues with him at Bayern Munich. That's why he wanted to play on the left tonight, to just show that he could play the old-style Iron Robin way. He's done a good impersonation of that old-style Iron Robin.
Well, that one season he had at Chelsea, he was unbelievable, wasn't he? Pace, ability to run with the ball, pick the right options when he was shooting or crossing. He's shown, as you say, a lot of that tonight.
At the moment he's playing through the middle with Luke de Jong, who is a central striker, on the left. Well, there's a great chance here, and England have managed to get a goal back, and it was Gary Cahill, who we said earlier he's a defender with an eye for goal, and he took the responsibility of getting into a forward position and took his chance very expertly.
Well, he makes a good run. They try and step up. He is just offside when the ball's played. The Dutch were all over the place at the back, and he takes it really well. Leighton Baines with the pass. But good movement from a centre forward, from a centre half, playing in a centre forward position, changes direction. Stecklenburg really should save it. You know, he chops it back onto his right foot, opens up the goal for himself. Stecklenburg with the mistake.
That's already his second goal. It's only his 8th cap. And it's breathed new life into the closing stages here for England. England 1, the Netherlands 2. And that victory that the Dutch very much want after 3 games without one isn't yet in the bag. Well, it could be now with Luke de Jong. Still wouldn't have counted.
Assistant referee said there was something wrong here. Was there a handball or a foul on Micah Richards? Now there's a bit of urgency about England, and a good run from Fraser Campbell. Ball should have been played to him.
Well, the Dutch scored 2 in quick succession. Can England do the same? Milner. Here's Young. Back with Richards. Nigel de Jong there, but Dutch not so good at keeping the ball as they were earlier. Just felt that 2-0 they would have the experience and the confidence and enjoy the occasion and see it through with a margin to spare.
Well, the key is that they're taking Schneider off, who was dominating the game, but Sturridge has got a real problem here.
And Robin, Luke de Jong in the middle, back for Couch. It stung the gloves and the palms of Joe Hart. But Daniel Sturridge, who came on early in the evening for Steven Gerrard, who went off so early, one assumed that it was an injury.
Well, here's the chance again, a lovely cutback from Robin. Kemp hits it first time. There's a good view of it, but it's swerving. That's why Joe Hart didn't catch it cleanly. He cuts across it, Dirk Kuyt.
So that's bad news for Chelsea. And Theo Walcott, who likes to play through the middle, but is in his more customary role on the right-hand side, and he should be full of confidence, having scored twice for a team that were 2-0 down on Sunday and came through to win the game. Might be asking a bit much for England to do that, but An equaliser is certainly not out of the question.
Well, he'll be playing with confidence, depending which half you saw.
He won't get there, the Arsenal man. Yeah, he was almost a candidate for being substituted at half-time at the Emirates on Sunday. Arsene Wenger was glad that he kept him on. Matthijs. Luke de Jong. Wrong footing Robin. Here's Richards. He's actually frightened his clubmate Nigel de Jong then, who had a very good chance to win the ball and pulled out of it. Maybe he's been nobbled in training a couple of times, but England's still trying to take advantage of that. But the ambition of Baines. Been a mixture of a match, Stuart, as you look over it. Your overall view on England under Stuart Pearce?
Well, I don't think they've played with a high enough tempo. They haven't played with enough urgency. They haven't got the ball forward enough. At times they passed it around the back, they passed it into midfield. And when England play at a slow tempo, they can't pick up the pace. Likewise, when they play frantic football, they can't slow it down. They're much better off when they pass forward, they add runners forward, they play into the front players a little bit quicker. See, all this is a little bit too slow. The crowd don't like it. And the Dutch are much happier playing at this sort of pace, and that's why they dominated the first 20 minutes of the second half.
4 added minutes. And England not finished yet. Walcott. And Ashley Young's in here and equalises. England certainly not finished. They found 2 in quick succession after the Dutch double.
And both the goals have come about because people have run behind the Dutch defenders and balls have been played in behind. Suddenly the back line of the Dutch has been penetrated. They're not working hard enough, and a great little finish from Ashley Young. Good movement from him. There it is, a pass across. He makes a run in behind this Van Bommel and then lifts it over Stekelenburg. What a finish we've had to the game, and what a finish from Ashley Young.
In injury time, the injury time that was added on for the problem when the Dutch scored their second goal and Huntelaar and Smalling were laid out. And not all the supporters have stayed to the end here, but they've missed a flourish in the final analysis for England. And there's still 2.5 minutes to go. Emmanuelson. Van Bommel. And now Robin, if he can switch it onto his left foot, England might be in trouble. They are! Arjen Robben, the magician again. A crazy ending, really. And how Stuart Pearce will be heartbroken at this. But it's Dutch delight. The double has become a treble, and 2 for Robin himself.
We've also got to give credit for Van Bommel here up against 2 players, England players. But Baines has got to show him the line. He's got to force him onto his right foot. Once he comes back onto his left, there's always going to be a problem. There's Van Bommel winning that ball on the edge of the box. Now he's going to be shown the line, but once he comes back onto that left foot, he can just pass it into the corner. What a finish.
They really know what's coming, but knowing and dealing with it are 2 different things. Arjen Robben's craftsmanship, so well known in English football from his time with Chelsea. But we're still not finished yet, and what odds on another goal? Because here comes Milner to the far post, and the knockdown is behind Fraser Campbell. And Van Bommel, it's almost shades of Marco van Basten, who famously got a hat-trick back in the European finals of 1988 against England.
But how this game has livened up right at the end. You can see how the crowd have reacted to it.
Parker, stopped by Emmanuelson, given away by Jones. Dutch only need to keep the ball now to run down the final few seconds. England on the verge of their first defeat since November 2010, when they were beaten here by France, again in a so-called friendly international. Well, it was a first half played at training ground pace, really. But the second half has been a different story. Here's Emmanuelson. Oh, and it doesn't quite come to count, does it? It does. Can he manage a shot? Van Bommel, who certainly can hit them from that sort of distance, and that might well be that. Amazing.
It has been amazing, and I've been impressed with this player. I've been critical of him in the Italian league because it looks as though he doesn't move from that centre circle, but he's played much better tonight.
Well, England are beaten here after going 2-0 down early-ish in the second half under Stuart Pearce, whose side fought back to 2-2 and then shipped the fifth and vital goal very, very late in proceedings. Arjen Robben was sparkling again, champagne stuff. 2 wonderful goals from him, in between a fantastic header from Huntelaar, who's laid out in the process. Chris Smalling of England as well. England found goals from Gary Cahill and Ashley Young in relatively quick succession, but they left the back door open, and they lose for the first time since November 2010. The Dutch win for the first time in 4. They needed it really to get going again. Got better and better the match. Final score, England 2, the Netherlands 3.